Hey guys, welcome back to Little Big Opinions. I'm Big.
And I'm producer Mark.
Nice, nice.
I
All
listen.
right,
I listen.
we we wanted to come to you with a quick video, some breaking news out of Dolphins camp today. Bradley Chubb, edge rusher, captain of the football team, has been released, and the Dolphins and him have mutually agreed to part ways. So, Mark, he has been released. He has not been traded. He has not been cut. You had a good question, Mark. What's the difference between being cut and being released?
Yeah, yeah. Because it's seems it's we still take the cap hit regardless if it's a
We
cut.
do. We do. So he's released immediately because he's a vested veteran, 4+ years in the NFL. So what does that mean for him? He is immediately now a free agent, so he can sign with any team that he wants. What does this mean to the Dolphins? So it's a $7 million salary cap savings to the Dolphins, but they're also eating about $23.8 million in dead cap because we've already paid some of his bonuses and roster bonuses as well. So we're gonna have to eat that cost. That is something that is hitting Stephen Ross's pocketbook. It is something I don't think that was done with an ease of mind from John Eric Sullivan, this being one of the biggest moves that he's made now that he's the Miami Dolphins general
Well,
manager.
he better be hungry because he's about to eat a lot of dead cap. Right? Like there's a that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. Get ready, boys. It's a
Yeah,
buffet on your way.
there's a lot going on right now. What does this kind of mean? I think this shows the mentality that we're going in with this rebuild, right? We're starting completely fresh. Could you have gotten, it's a little frustrating as a Dolphin fan because Bradley Chubb played very well last year. Let's talk about his tenure. He was, with the Dolphins in 2022, came via trade, sign and trade, that we signed him to a 5-year, $110 million deal coming from the Broncos. And, he produced really well in 2023, had 6 forced fumbles. During his 3 years here that he was active, 22 sacks. The issue here is his health. In 2024, at the end of 2023, he tore his ACL and he missed all of last year in 2024 when we really needed him. When he's on the field, he produces, and he's also someone that's great for the locker room. So it's going to be a huge loss on that defensive line, but also in the locker room here. Um, we when we signed him, Mark, we were all thrilled. I mean, a lot of people, that was the big guy, right? In the NFL, to win football in January, you need to get to the pass rush. You need to get to the quarterback. And what was his tenure here? His tenure, unfortunately, I think was a bit of a letdown compared to what we gave up for him. First round pick, a huge contract, and unfortunately, some health issues got in the way. We needed him at the end of 2023, and he wasn't there for us. But
I feel like
just
the
because of
health
a freak
issues
accident.
kind of they glare very brightly with this particular situation. um just because our D line was always getting hurt, right? You got Jaden Phillips on the other side. It was just like we could never have that full experience that we expected that we were going to get out of it. One of them was playing, the other one was not. So it would have been really nice to see what their initial thought kind of go through, but it and work the way they thought it would, but it just really didn't. And it's the beginning of a big change. A lot of guys are going to start doing this. um there's not it's not a very strong free agency class. It's not a very strong draft class. So I think the Miami Dolphins are going to get called a lot coming up, for the little talent that they do have, the Jalen Waddles and the Devon A. Chans. And I think that this team is going to look very different in the even up next year, you know?
Yeah, in my opinion, you got to build from inside out, right? That this is a move that there was some rumors out there that potentially they could restructure his deal and keep Bradley Chubb, but I think it was mutually agreed upon that he's in the latter stages of his career, and he's pushing 30, and
He wants
it's
to win.
something that he wants to win, right? And I think Dolphin fans have to come to a realization that it's going to take, we need patience. We're going to have to be patient. This year is going to be a rough one. I believe, if everything holds true, there's a lot of things that this previous administration with Chris Greer at the helm made decisions that we're going to have to, pay for those sins. And we're doing it now. Eating $23 million of dead cap, we're paying for those sins. Tyreek Hill, that contract, we're going to pay for that. And same thing with Tua Tagovailoa, which is the biggest one, right? So there's a lot that has to happen, but they had, unfortunately, this one really hits hard because he was such a leader in the organization and such a good human being. So, Bradley Chubb, thank you for what you did. It was a pleasure, watching you and rooting for you, and we really loved you having part of this team. Good luck to you to what you're gonna do. But now we got some young talent on the, you got Chop Robinson still. You have all these three defensive tackles that you drafted last year, and Kenneth Grant, Zeke Biggers, and Jordan Phillips. They need to step up now. They're going to get more playing time. And like you said, now you got to go find in the draft or through free agency who can fill that void that is Bradley Chubb, because he is creating a void. That's for sure. So we'll touch on that in some of the next episodes of how we're gonna, how this defense is gonna come about. And breaking news right now: Dolphins are releasing 8-time Pro Bowl Tyreek Hill. That just came up right now.
Woo! That
That's
just
breaking
happened.
news. That literally just happened. Oh my God.
Wow.
They are cleaning house right
They're
now.
cleaning house. We
Mark.
said it. It's gonna look very different. It's gonna look very different. It's weird that is it weird that I'm a little excited right now? Like it's
I am a, yeah,
things are
yeah,
changing.
the tip of your penis is tingling. Yeah, it is. Do you hear
It,
I'm in a retirement home right now at a rehab center for my father. Do you hear do you hear the piano in the background?
I do hear something. It's great. It's beautiful. It's
What
beautiful.
is
I got the two kids in the my wife has them right there in the bedroom
this is
because
chaos.
there's
This
no
is
school
chaos.
today. There's no school today, so
Let me go close that real quick. Oh
it's
look, they
okay.
saying happy birthday. Woo! Tyreek
Hey,
is gone. Yeah. All right. Breaking news: Tyreek Hill. Now this is a Bradley Chubb and Tyreek Hill is being released.
wow.
He can sign with somebody new. He is rehabbing from his knee injury this past year.
Freak knee injury.
These are the two guys that we brought in 2022 that we wanted, that we thought we were here, we're gonna win, and now they're gone. February 16th, 2026, they are gone. Like you said, Mark, this is a completely new team. What we're looking like, and Tyreek. Let's talk a little bit about Tyreek Hill. We don't have two 1,800-yard seasons, 1,700-yard seasons. w- he was incredible in 2022 and 2023. Last year, 2024, we saw a huge dip because of Tua getting hurt and being out most of the year. And then this year, to begin the year, he was a little bit more vocal. Tua was his quarterback. He said throws the prettiest ball in the NFL. That kind of changed a little bit, and we knew, Drew Rosenhaus, Mark, does sit at this bar in the club level
Oh
all the
yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
every single game. And he told my buddies back months ago, Tyreek is not going to play for the Miami Dolphins in 2026. He wants to
Yeah.
play for a winner. We already knew this was coming. But nonetheless, Drew Rosenhaus, Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, parting ways, being released. That is immediately just happened right now. This
Think
team
he's
is
going
going to
back
be
to
look
Kansas City?
completely different.
You think he's gonna go back to Kansas City?
I don't know. He wants to go to a winner, that's for sure. Let's see what he is, a freak athlete. He is a wonderful talent on the field. That is going to be the number one player that people are going to go look at. But again, it's all about his rehab. That was a dislocated knee that was disgusting to watch. We felt bad for him. Prayers up for him. But I think he'll be strong. But again, he's pushing 30 as well, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah,
Are
yeah.
those, what is that injury going to do to his speed, to his cutting? That is, he's got straight line speed, but he's also had those cuts. What does that look like on that new knee? That's going to
Yeah,
be the most
those
important thing.
short little bursts. Unfortunately, we don't have the physical therapist here to jump in on that, but just from someone who has suffered from aging as well. I can only imagine that he's not going to be the same. I wish the best for him. Nothing bad on him. Thank you for coming and, you know, giving us a glimmer of hope. But
The best
you know,
years of our Dolphins careers
it's
were, or
been fun,
Dolphins
man.
lives were with him. With
Yeah.
him doing two of that 2023 season. Bradley Chubb was also a huge instrumental part, 11 plus sacks in that season. These are two cornerstones that we thought when we traded for both of them in 2022 that we were, those are the guys, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it did not work out, but they were super entertaining.
Well,
And
different with Tyreek because Tyreek essentially worked out. And like as far as
he
like
did.
he produced, he was on the field. He was a dog, man. That guy
Or
never got hurt. He would just push through everything. It's like it looked like he was playing for the varsity blues team. Just pushing through all these injuries. But Jonathan Moxon just came in at the end and was like, no, because he couldn't
uh,
play with the broken.
yeah, R.I.P. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Mox.
R.I.P. I had to
R.I.P. to
bring him in
Mox.
to say R.I.P. Crazy thing. I was watching that movie when the morning of when you guys sent that text that
So
he passed away. I was
yeah,
like, that's
him
so
and Lance
insane.
Harbor.
And Billy Bob, all three of
Paul
them.
Walker and Billy Bob. Yeah, the only
Billy
one
Bob,
there is
all three of
Tweeter.
them.
Tweeter's
Yeah,
the only one left.
he's still
He's
going
going strong.
strong. Yeah, yeah. He's robbing casinos with George Clooney. So,
Hawaii, he was like, I forget,
oh yeah,
Hawaii
Hawaii
2.0
5
or
five
whatever.
o five o or whatever. I think
Oh,
it's 5
5-0,
o.
that's what it was. Okay, so we lost two of our cornerstones. This is the shift now.
Who do you think's next?
So who's next is Tua Tagovailoa. He's definitely next. He's gone for sure. They are starting fresh. This is what we wanted. It's going to be painful, Dolphins fans. This is not Denver. This is not New England. I understand though those two franchises changed immediately. We have to find the quarterback. Both of those franchises found their quarterback. Okay. You have to go find your quarterback. Now, this kind of goes into our next talking point, which was there was a season ticket holder event. The Miami Dolphins stepping up, great event to introduce
They're
the general
listening.
manager, John Eric Sullivan, and Jeff Hafley to the Miami Dolphins season ticket holders. It was at the Baptist Training Complex, Mark. Never been there before. Super, super cool. They had it inside the bubble. Outside the bubble, they have two full football fields there with the stands as well. Beautiful site, beautiful event, good meatballs, first of all. Not the cookies were not that so good. Um,
It
but
was not a media event, which is a big deal. It was just for the season ticket holders. The media was not present, which is pretty interesting. Pretty
it
interesting.
is interesting. And they were what I would say, and Nat Moore was the MC, did a great job. Dolphins legend. Full first reactions to these two gentlemen. First of all, they came up, they shook everybody's hand, taking pictures. John Eric Sullivan, the general manager, and Jeff Hafley. Jeff Hafley is a no nonsense guy. I'll tell you that.
Love it.
He's got a good humor to him, but he is a no nonsense guy. And the theme about what he was saying is, why do I have to say something instead of do it? I have to show action. What is
Nice.
talk? He
Nice.
said, what is talk?
It's not from
Talk is
Miami.
talk, action is action, and that is something that we is falling not on deaf ears here in Miami. That is something that we've been wanting, right? Accountability is something that both of these men were preaching to the choir, and that is something they're saying. Another thing that John Eric Sullivan said was, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You
Woo!
love to hear that. You love
Nice.
to hear that because we need to show there's a different mentality. There's accountability, but it's also about toughness, mental toughness, being tough in the trenches as well, playing in cold football. They addressed that. They asked them that question. How are you going to have these teams be successful in December and January? And what they said is it starts off in training camp and in practices, and you whittle away those players that are not going to be mentally tough in the fourth quarter before they even step foot into that stadium. They need to make sure that they can handle what we have either in the heat or even it shouldn't be the elements that make or break this football team. It should be about the toughness. So that's number
Nice.
one. Okay, so what are your thoughts when you're first hearing that right now?
I'm loving it, dude. I'm a first of all, I'm a all nonsense type of dude, but I do not expect that to work inside of a locker room with
Yeah.
professional football players. Um, it's again, I'm gonna bring back Varsity Blues. You need that tough coach, right? You need that guy who's doesn't willing to do anything to
That's who
win.
wins.
That's who wins. The Bill Bellies, those are the guys that they're
Don
like, hey,
Shula's.
I don't
Remember
mess
Don
around,
Shula?
dude.
Get in your face,
Um,
Don Shula. No
yeah,
nonsense, Don Shula.
I love
Bring
it,
me
dude.
back that. Bring that back. That's what Hafley has. He has that aura to him
He,
that,
he also he looks like he's not gonna fall into the Miami scene, right? Like where maybe we embraced that a couple years ago when McDaniel came in, we were like, oh, he looks like one of us, one of us, one of us. But we were like, oh, we
it,
maybe we can't do this.
no, we turned
We're,
him. Miami turned him.
they destroyed
Hafley
him.
has this buzz cut that immediately, I think, Marines, right? And when I see that buzz cut, I don't know if I can see him going and becoming this Miami machismo guy, right? Or this Miami douche. But nonetheless, what they were saying is all the right things. Some of the things that John Eric Sullivan talked about, which I we have not seen because you said it wasn't open up to the media. That's is best player available for the draft. That's something that he mentioned. But it's also not just best player available, but it's also about accountability. And one
Yeah,
thing that he said was tape DNA. Tape DNA is something that him and his staff are looking at. All the scouts are in there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day, watching every single player in the country. And they're not just looking at game tape, they're looking at how are they on the sidelines. They have scouts going and talking to 8 different people, whether it be the trainers, the coaches. The one thing that they mention is they talk to the water boy and say, how is that guy, how is he, the equipment manager, how is that young gentleman, that kid that's a star, but how is he with his teammates, like that draft
yeah,
day thing, right? The dollar
yeah.
bill or the $100 bill. Speaking to everybody, it's about character, and that's what they want to bring in to this organization to change the tide, right? But Tape DNA, they want dogs. They don't want people with, the 40-yard dashes and the combine freaks. They want people that produce. And that's what you need because people in the NFL, that people in college that produce, and for some, they have their measurements are a little bit different. They're not too fast, but there's people out there all the time that are a third, fourth round pick because they don't have the measurables, but end up being great players for 8 to 10 years. That's what you want.
Well,
All these linebackers.
I don't know if we because we would pick undersized guys all the time because we thought that they were gonna hit and they maybe didn't hit. It's not, but what we did do wrong, which I think he's gonna come and rectify, is like what you said, building through the draft, building the trenches through the draft. We were so for years, even like we've always been trying to get the big guy in the free agency who isn't doing much, right? There's 11 guys on each side of the ball. One guy is going to make a huge difference, but it's not going to make the difference in the game. And that's what we have seen in the last 20 years of this franchise. From GM to GM, it feels like it's been the same story. This kind of feels like we're like, okay, we need a completely different mindset here. We need to be able to look past just the flashy. Like we need a new Miami. This isn't South Beach. This is Miami Gardens. Let's
Hmm.
treat it as such. Let's build just like our younger brothers there at we're building in the trenches. Let's build the toughness,
Inside out.
those ball hawks, those guys who just have maybe not the measurables and talent, but they definitely have the IQ to push them further, where as they continue to grow and get older as professionals and start training different ways, that body catches up with their mind, and that makes an amazing football player, right? Like, so it looks like we're not falling for the same monotonous things that we have fallen for over and over again. So it seems like it's going to be a big difference. Really quick, Adam Schefter made a report that one of at least one of the owners in the NFL wants to change it so that you can trade in picks 5 years down the line. I,
Oh,
right now it is three. Three is the furthest
hmm
you can go down the line. So it's just a report. They're just talking about it. There's nothing happening, but that would be a
The NBA
huge
does that,
difference.
right? And the Oklahoma City Thunder are the perfect example of who did Sam Presti and who did a phenomenal job with that, right? During that downturn that they had after their big three, Harden, Durant, and Westbrook left, they just kept trading for picks, first round picks, and then they made some deals. They obviously got SGA, but then they get Chet Holmgren and the Williams kid. They nothing but built a young core, and they still have nothing but first round picks. So that could be very interesting. I think it's a way for teams that are always in the cellar can have a way of accumulating picks and then maybe trading. You can see more trades for QBs, right? Like I'll
Well,
give you three firsts that I have, or four firsts for Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow.
well,
Stuff like
also
that.
like it gives you opportunity to get a higher draft pick, right? Because if you're like, I want your first rounder next year, and they're like, you're not going to get that, and you get bumped down to a 3 or 4 or 5. Where here you're like, hey, a first rounder in 5 years. So I might be like, I don't know how much time I have left here, so who cares? Let's just do it. Um, just so that might just open up a lot of opportunities that way, and like what I said, the free agency class being so underwhelming right now, it might be able to make some big moves with some bigger names possible. So
Yeah, the Dolphins
we'll
were
see.
always about making the splashy move and getting the high price free agent in the
Yeah.
class. That never helped, right? We thought it helped, it did never helped, right? The Donnell Ellerbe's, Mike Wallace's, things of that
Dominic
nature.
Minsu, I can't even say it. Sue.
Yeah, Dominic Su, all these players. What we need to find is value right now, right? We have to go the Moneyball route because of the contracts that we were left with and eating all this dead cap. Releasing Tyreek Hill, we're gonna have a hit. Bradley Chubb, like we said earlier, $27 million. Tua Tagovailoa, which eventually the it's going to fall soon. That domino is going to fall. That is going to be a massive, massive pay hit. Whether you trade him or not, you got to find a trade partner for him. But nonetheless, it's going to be a rough year. So Dolphins fans, I'm speaking to you right now, Big. I'm looking at you right now, buddy. In a couple of months, you're going to be super hyped. You're going to be saying a lot of stupid things. Just be patient, big guy. Dolphins fans out there, be patient, okay? This is going to be rough, but we're in good hands. These two gentlemen, I think, are the right ones for the ship. They're going to bring that mentality from the Packers. This is not flashy football. And these are some of the guys that we kind of learned a little bit more about. What did we learn about them? Mark, they asked him, what is your favorite sports movie? So
Ooh, good
Sully,
question. Good question.
Sully says, Remember the Titans. And Hafley, Rocky one. Okay, kind of shows
Okay.
you the tough guy that he is. Their
I wish you would
favorite,
have said draft day. That would have been
their favorite, their favorite pump up song. Sully said "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. Let the
class.
Miami Vice
Classic.
feel. Very good one. Hafley said "Surrender" by Bruce
Cheap
Springsteen
Trick?
because
Oh,
he's a Jersey guy. He's a New Jersey guy, so
they love
he's
their
got that
their
connection.
Springsteen up
Uh,
there.
their guilty pleasure like snacks. Sully Skittles, which is a very good one, I
Good.
think. And Halfley said Doritos. I mean, that's not a guilty pleasure. I eat a bag of Doritos all the time. Maybe that's why I look the way I am, but it is what
Yay.
it is. And then last but not least, game day superstitions. Sully, our GM, Skittles. Skittles again. That's become his
Like
game.
he eats
Game day.
Skittles.
He eats
I
Skittles on game day.
he's
Superstition.
like he's channeling the Marshawn Lynch.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. We'll take a beast mode on the Miami Dolphins.
Hell yeah.
Halfley, his daughter. By the way, his daughter and both of these guys are girl dads, Mark. And
I
coming
love
from
it.
two girl dads here,
Hey,
I mean,
hey,
you
the
gotta
best.
love that. You
I'm
gotta
about to
love
go to
that. And
South
half
Point Park, take the girls to South Point Park, play around a little bit. It's gonna be phenomenal.
exactly. We gotta hang out with these dudes. These dudes, these guys are just guys. These are good guys. It takes a strong man to be a girl dad.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
Hafley's game day superstition is his 7-year-old daughter makes him bracelets, and he doesn't take them off. So
Aw,
love that.
adorable.
Sullivan was saying that his daughter was also making bracelets, but they would break all the time.
Oh
So
no.
we're gonna see. Maybe Hafley's daughter can make some for
Maybe
Sullivan
she
and
could
the
teach
team.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He also said it could become a business. I for sure would buy a couple for us. And maybe we can do like what does Taylor Swift do? I think she does the love bracelets. Maybe we can do that, and we can make one and give that to Hafley. Maybe we can do that in training camp.
Nice. Maybe we'll. Are you gonna make it? Do you know how to make it? Have you?
No. I'll have my daughters make it. I'll have Charlie
Oh,
make it. She'll
nice,
love
nice,
that.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
All right, folks. That is live breaking news. You had to hear it first. Literally, as we were speaking, Tyreek Hill has been released from the Miami Dolphins earlier today. Bradley Chubb has been released, and you learned a little bit more about Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan from Miami Dolphins member only event that we attended the other day. So, folks, drop those comments, like and subscribe to this video. I mean, subscribe to this channel. It's February and we're still spitting out content because it's going to be a crazy offseason for the Miami Dolphins. Love you guys. And Mark, take us home, baby.
Sayonara, suckers.